Back with Hall of Fame and triple world boxing champion Jeff Fenech. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Mate, it's a pleasure to have you here. Let's go over your career, because that's what we got you here for. We're going to go over your whole career. Now, how old when you first started fighting? Like, as an amateur, stepped in the gym?
I started boxing pretty late. I never really wanted to be a fighter. I wanted to be a football player. And at 17, I walked into Newtown Police Youth Club and I met Johnny Lewis, and it all started from there. Pretty late, but things happened pretty quick for me. After my third fight, I was state amateur champion. In my 12th amateur fight, I went to the World Cup in Rome and I won a bronze medal. I came third in the world as an amateur. And then in '84, I was selected to go to the Olympic Games, which was a huge highlight for me. Although the result wasn't good, I was the first boxer ever to have their decision overturned by the international jury, which made it pretty sad. But it was all a learning experience, and that's the one thing that I can honestly say to anybody out there: if you lose or you have adversity, as long as you can learn from it, you'll go ahead in leaps and bounds. And I was able to keep that hunger and be ready for after the Olympics to turn professional. And I honestly believe that after the Olympic Games that I could be a good professional, because I was very competitive after like 28 amateur fights.
Let's go over that, Jeff, because you as we said, you've only had 27 amateur fights. To go into that elite level, probably be fighting guys that have had 200 fights and 150 international fights. And for you to be really blitzing, I mean, did you have promoters and everyone hovering around you during that time? No,
not really. I had obviously Johnny Lewis, who really believed that I was going to do something special in the sport. I was boxing all the leading professionals in Australia before I left, and I was boxing very well with them. And I just went over there, full of confidence. Not that I thought I was going to win a gold medal, people. I just wanted to go over and give it my best. And I try to tell all young kids today, if you give it your best, whether you win or lose, you're still a winner, as long as you've prepared properly and you've done everything right. And that was my attitude. It was my attitude all my career. And I really went to the Olympic Games, like I said, expecting to do my best. Not really did I think that I could win a gold medal, but I thought if I gave my best in every bout, that I could do Australia proud, and I think I done that.
Oh, you've more than done that. Let's go over the whole atmosphere though in Los Angeles. Carl Lewis, how many guys? I think he won 4, didn't he?
Yeah, well, the one thing that I remember about the games, apart from being such a special place in LA, was we were all dieting, us fighters. I couldn't go in the march at the start because I had to fight the next day, and it was so hot in Los Angeles. But I'd walk around through the village, and I'd look at all the M&Ms was one of the sponsors, and I'd look at all those things I'd dying to eat. And every day I'd walk through the village, you'd see Dean Lucan, who won the super heavyweight gold medal in the weightlifting. He'd have food on his plate like that, and we'd be very, very jealous of him as fighters. Yeah.
Jeff, we went over the whole LA thing and getting over the Olympics. Then it was time for you to turn pro. It was October the 12th, 1984, nearly 23 years ago. Does it seem that long?
Not really. People ring me up, like I got a great friend here named John Pace, and he'll ring me up and say, Jeff, it was 20 years, ago when you won your first title, it was this and that. But to me, that's really just a thing of the past. I look forward to the future, being with my family, just enjoying myself. Boxing was my life, but back then, but I don't try to dwell on things I've done in the past.
What was going through your mind before your first fight against Bobby Williams at the Marrickville RSL club in Sydney?
Well, I'd sparred him when I was as an amateur, and I always thought I was going to be alright. But obviously, a lot of those guys think that now you're in the professional ranks, you're going to fight. My first fight, it was a 10-rounder, so they were pretty confident. He'd had quite a few fights and fought, all of Australia's best fighters in that weight division. But like I said, I don't know. I thought that I was very, very confident. Like I said, I'd sparred all the best pros while I was amateur, and I never had a problem. I just thought that it was, being professional. It was just a natural progression for me. And I always thought that I'd be a better pro fighter than I was an amateur. My style was more suited to the professional game.
Well, I think you hold the world record for the quickest ever legitimate world title in your 7th professional fight, Jeff.
196 days, Peter.
Yep.
Now, I know there are a few Aussie fighters out there that are a little bit envious of that. Like, I don't mean envious in a way of that, but I mean
Aussie world.
Well, but I'm just saying that some in the old days, some of those guys had to have 50, 60 fights, and I feel sorry for them. And boxing's changed today, and back then I just was pretty lucky that I had a great promoter in Bill Mordy, who was very confident in his gamble with Jeff Fenech. Was maybe like backing Maccabi Diva. You just knew that you'd run a winner, and then Bill Morty knew that, and he gambled early. And like I said, Satoshi Shingaki wasn't the greatest champion ever. I'll put my hand up to that, but he was certainly very, very tough, and he was the champion. So it was an opportunity for me to become world champion.
Professional fight. Some kids would be happy to fight for a state title, the 7th professional fight. To go into the world market and fight a hardened Japanese fight in your 7th professional fight, it's testament to yourself. And of course, it was a 15-rounder. So having your 7th professional fight in your early 20s, 15-rounder, mate, words can't describe that. Now, the referee was Bruce McTavish. We've got to give Bruce a cheerio, the Filipino, and all the people in the Philippines. Ronnie Welke at Angeles City and the Orchid Inn and the Wild Orchid. You've been there. They're big Pacquiao fans, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't blame them. They've got a great special fighter at the moment, and the whole nation supports him, which they should. I think it was very reminiscent of when Jeff Fenech fought. I know that the whole of Australia supported me, and I'll never forget the support that I got from the Australian public. I couldn't have done it without it.
Let's go into that world title fight, though, Jeff. Before you won the world title, now that they put the belt around you, you're a world champion. What was the first thing that went through your mind?
To be honest, Peter, I couldn't even remember. I couldn't believe that I'd won. I fell on the floor after the fight, and I don't know, it was just, I don't know if it was a dream come true, because I never really dreamed of, like I said, as a kid, of being a fighter, but it was something very, very special, and I was just so happy that, I proved what my trainer had always said, that I'd be world champion. And after the Olympic Games, in a crying speech, I said that if they won't let me win a gold medal for Australia, I'll win a world title, and I was pretty honoured to be able to back up what I said.
Did people change around you the next day and leading up to after you become a world champion? Does it change your life?
Oh, of course it does. I mean, anybody that says you don't change or you stay the same, they lie. It's just too hard. It's just it's too hard of a transition especially for a fighter who's come from nothing all of a sudden to have everything, and doors open for everywhere you want to go. Restaurants give you food for free. You're getting cars for nothing. So yeah, your life just changes dramatically. And I think if there's one thing that I'd like to teach any young athlete, not just be a boxer, football player, anybody that's going to have success, is just remember how you got there. And I mean, the hard work that it took to get there, and that path you took to get there. Just remember, because once you change and you get off the path, it becomes a rocky road.
Now, moving up to your super bantamweight world title, Samar Parakaran. The Thais put a lot of money on this guy. The bookies were going to go broke if he had have won. It was the 8th of the 5th, 1987, so 20 years ago really now. You, it was a devastating performance from you. The knockout you actually got him with, was it like an uppercut?
Yeah, well, I hit him with quite a few right hands, and just as he was falling, going to the canvas, he was still up, so I hit him with one more right uppercut that
nearly
put
ripped
the
his
lights
head
out
off
when he was in hospital. But
two knee reconstructions.
Yeah, again, well, you hear a lot of people talk, he was this, he was that, he was overconfident, he didn't train properly. But listen, I don't care who you are or what you are. Nobody comes to somebody else's country or defends a title for your title and you don't prepare properly. We all train properly, and I was just better than him on the day. I think it was one of my great performances.
Oh, you're a superstar in Thailand too, by the way, Jeff. Wherever we go in Thailand, you are one of the biggest names coming out of Australia, so they respect your performance there. But you weren't content with 2 world titles in 2 weight classes, were you, Jeff? You wanted to step up again.
Yeah, again, I defended against a couple of great fighters. I defended against Carlos Zarate. I defended against Greg Richardson, who was a real slick mover. And again, after that, I had very, very bad hand problems. So I had an operation, and I came out of hospital, and I moved up to featherweight first, because I fought Tony Mad Dog Miller before I fought Samar Parakaran, and without any doubt, Tony Mad Dog Miller. It wasn't my toughest fight, but he's mostly one of the toughest guys I've ever fought, and somebody who I respect a lot in the sport. He fought everybody, never closed the door on any challenge, and I'll always respect Tony Miller. I fought him as an amateur and a pro, and I beat him both times, but at both times he made me be at my best.
Okay, Jeff, we're going to go to a break. Back with more from Jeff Fenech after the break.